Bill, this is Curt Peterson, PGA teaching professional at Terrace Hill. I appreciate you coming out to the club today and the opportunity to work with your swing. For this lesson from today, July 2nd, 2011, we're going to focus on alignment, stance, right knee position, left foot and left knee movement, and last, your swing plane. First, let's take a look at your swing with your hybrid club face on. We're going to have you take the club back, one piece takeaway, up to the top of your swing. Swinging down the impact and following through to your finish. Okay, good. Now what we're going to focus on first is your stance. We talked about the width of making sure that you maintain good balance between your left and right feet and good balance between your toe and your heels as well. So first thing, we have some vertical lines in yellow in which we want to focus on making sure that they're equivalent to the width of your hips. Now that's a little bit arbitrary from the perspective that sometimes you get too wide, especially when you get to longer clubs with your driver. So I would say from even your 58-degree sand wedge to your driver, make sure you narrow your stance a little bit more than normal. Second, I have a little red circle here for your right knee and also with your head position. And what we want to make sure you do with your right knee position is that you move your right knee in, so you're focusing on keeping that weight on the inside, similar to if you were a pitcher and you had your right foot against the rubber. You don't want to have your weight shift outside on top of the rubber. You want to keep your foot against the rubber to help you transfer your weight to your left side. So when you start taking the club back, if the right knee doesn't move in, you're going to start to move that right knee a little bit out. As soon as you start to bring it up here on the hinge, now it starts to move out. You get it up to the top of your swing, and you're going to find that your weight starts to move towards the outside of your right foot. Now you're going to transfer the weight down, starts to move inward, you get the impact, and then you finish your swing. Okay, now I have two black circles, one representing your left foot and your left knee. And what we want to do is we want to really focus. I know we discussed the possibility of maybe not tackling the left foot coming off the ground, but I think what you're going to find is that in comparison to the hybrid video to the driver video that I'm going to show you, that this is a very key part to making sure that you finish with good balance on your left side when you finish the swing and not to have the reverse C. So when we have you take the club back here with your hybrid, you're going to notice that even when you hinge the club and you bring it up to the top of your swing here with the hybrid, there you are at the top of your swing and your left foot barely comes off the ground. And if you look at your right knee position, or your left knee position, pardon me, versus the circle that it was around, it's moved slightly inward. Now you transition down, finish your swing, and now when you finish your swing, you can see that with the yellow line, it's going straight up, all the way up to the front of your head or to your right shoulder. So very good balance. Now we're going to switch, and we're going to bring in a different viewpoint. And this is with your driver. And what we're going to do is we're going to have you swing the club back so you can see it in slow motion. And there's your finish. Now you can see that there's some very significant differences between the driver on the right and the hybrid on the left. The left picture has very good balance. The right picture not as good, especially if you look at the positioning from your left foot to your head position. So let's bring it back. So with your driver position, you need to definitely narrow your stance. If I draw some lines here, you're going to be too wide with your stance. Maybe not on so much on the left, but if we do it on the right, you're definitely too wide. So you want to narrow your stance with your driver. Then you need to move that right knee inward. So if we draw that little point with your right knee, you're going to notice that when you take the club back, that right knee starts to come out a little bit. And now at the top of your swing, okay, there's the top of your swing with your driver. Let's show it to you with your hybrid. Look at the differences between the left foot being high off the ground with the driver versus the hybrid, and then also where your left knee is versus where it was with the driver versus with the hybrid. So you can notice that there's significant angle differences between your left hip, left knee, and left foot with the driver versus the hybrid. And I think that's very significant as far as your downswing transitional movement, because when you start to shift down with your driver, you really start to try and clear those hips. And what happens is you start to clear the hips, and now you're trying to catch up with the driver, and even when you get through the ball and you finish your swing, you can't get all your weight over onto your front foot. If we look over with the hybrid, and when you finish, just look at the positioning of the toe of the hybrid position, where we can see the cleats, versus over with the driver where we can't see any cleats. So from a narrower stance, moving the right knee in and focusing, as difficult as it may be, with trying to prevent the left foot from coming off the ground and having that left knee move too far inward, is going to make a significant difference with your balance finishing through the swing. Not to mention that coming through the ball, you're going to have more hip rotation. You're not going to try and force it with your hips, because I think that's part of what was happening, is you're trying to force it with your hips. So don't force it. Think about trying to keep your lower body a little bit more stable as you're coming down through the ball, as you did with the hybrid. And I think that's going to make a significant difference. Okay, this concludes the video, face on, talking about stance, right knee position, left knee, left foot, and your balance. Thanks again, and I look forward to sending the next video to you.